It's only 3 games into the season, and I would say the reaction of fans, some players, and media has been hysterical.
Mhm.
Hysterical. I don't mean
Mhm.
funny. I mean hysterical, like off the chart. So
Okay.
let me just say a few things. They lost the first game, and the conditions are very tough, but they
Mhm.
lost. And all of a sudden, everyone was blaming Trey Lance. Now, he
Right.
didn't lose the game. He was one
No.
of the players who lost the game, but it wasn't his fault, according to me. The national media, local media, fans, off the wall. This is the worst thing, blah, 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 blah. Next game, the poor guy gets hurt because the coach makes an idiotic play call. We all agree
Mhm.
on that, Iggy.
Mhm.
And then after the game, media, fans, and some players apparently are saying this is a return to 49er football, i.e., it's the legit thing.
Mhm.
And although no one wanted the kid to get hurt, it's really good that Jimmy's back because he's a veteran of the offense and he can really do that.
Gives
Okay,
him the best chance to win.
give him the best chance to win. They said that a lot.
Right.
Then they go play Denver, and they were horrible. Now, not the defense. The defense is world class.
But they were just as bad as they were week 1 offensively. 10 points
Yeah,
with the other quarterback.
with the other quarterback.
Yeah.
So then everybody, including you, Iggy, are saying, "Oh my God, this is really bad. Kyle's on the hot seat. If he doesn't make the playoffs, they ought to get Sean Payton. Sean Payton has his own problems.
That's true.
As long
That's
as
true.
I know, Kyle never got kicked out of the league for a while.
That's true.
Sean Payton did." And what are they going to
That's
do?
true.
And maybe they should play Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. All of a sudden, his name is being, and it's like every week it's hysterical. And you, Iggy, even said they should get Cam Newton. Could we
I
talk
believe
about?
that. I do.
Huh? Yeah.
I believe that.
Okay, that's fine. So let's start with Cam Newton and get him
Mhm.
out of the way. From my point of view, he never recovered from being a bust in the Super Bowl. It broke him psychologically. I think he's a loser. He came back last year to Carolina and he was parading around the field. I'm finally back, blah, blah, blah. Carolina got rid of him again. I don't think he is any longer an NFL quality quarterback. I think there are 2 names that should never be mentioned anymore with the Niners, him and Kaepernick. Kaepernick simply because he's been out for 6 years, and this guy because he's not an NFL quarterback. Now, if you want to rebut me, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you didn't really use any stats or facts with that. 2 years ago, he started for the Patriots. His quarterback rating was 82, and he ran. Jimmy Garoppolo's quarterback rating, his last 6 starts, is 80. And he's 3-3 in his last 6 starts with a quarterback rating of 80, 5 touchdown passes and 8 picks. I feel like the word is out on him, the book is out on him, and he keeps getting worse. I don't see that he's going to bounce back and become a winning quarterback. I think he's a loser now. The only reason he wins is because of his defense, really. So if he starts losing and the Niners miss the playoffs, it'd be a shame if they didn't try something else because I don't really see Jimmy Garoppolo bouncing back and becoming a factor.
Okay. Fair enough. I would like to say you are going by stats, and I appreciate that, but neither you nor I can see the future. So
That's
I
true.
want to say a few things.
Okay.
You've been very hard on Kyle Shanahan. My feeling is he is not even near being a great coach. He does
Right.
some things very well, but he's so far shown limitations and inability to learn. Okay.
Mhm.
On the other hand, my machine
We
makes.
got to turn that thing off. I'll come by someday and
I
turn
don't
that
know
thing
how to
off.
turn it off.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
you'll have to come by and do things for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Having said that he's not a great head coach, and he isn't, he got the team into the Super Bowl, blew the Super Bowl. That's one of the reasons he's not a great head coach. And Iggy, he would have had him in the Super Bowl last year if Jaquiski Tartt had caught the ball.
I don't know. I mean, that was early in the fourth quarter. The Niners didn't move the ball at all in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
You can't just say it came down to that play.
Okay, but the point is they were close to getting.
They were
to the
close.
Super
They were
Bowl,
close.
and they did
Yeah.
get the championship game.
They did.
Okay, so he's not Tom Sula or Chip Kelly.
No, he's not bad
He's
at
not
all.
a fraud.
No.
Okay, my feeling is, and this is a working hypothesis, he's a slow starter. And here's what I mean. Last season, he was a slow starter. He was 3-5. And the whole, the world was caving in.
Mm-hmm.
He figured out what he needed to figure out, and the team was respectable and got to the championship game. One of the things he figured out was Debo. Now that the league is onto that, he needs to figure something else out. I understand. But he's shown himself actually to be creative and to adapt slowly.
True.
I'm saying let's not bring in Sean Payton yet. It's only 3 games. Last year, he adapted after 8 games. Let's see what happens. The other is, and I know that you poo-poo this, that Jimmy, they say Jimmy said he's not in football shape. Iggy, about a month ago, I visited my friend Fred Von Oppen in Montana. He used to be a coach with the Niners, and he and I are dear friends. And he and his wife, Sally, take me in because I'm blue these days. And we were talking, and Fred said, Lowell, there is something different about shape and football shape. He actually brought it up. And he said, you could work out in the weight room all you want and do wind sprints and all that, but there's something about being on the field and getting hit. And so for the time being, that's a coach who said that. For the time being, I'm willing to give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt and to say, as awful as he was in Denver, he may not always be that awful. He'll never be great. He'll never be above mediocre, but he may be good enough with that defense. Okay?
Okay.
He may be good enough. I know I'm open to a rebuttal, and I'm eager to hear it.
Okay, let me try my best. But since the noise got a little loud, I'm going to do it in a very quiet voice.
Please.
I'm going to say quietly. All right, first of all, these are my. This is why I think not just me, but a lot of people are really freaked out about the 49ers and are thinking about, is Kyle Shanahan good enough? Not is Jimmy good enough. Is Kyle Shanahan good enough? He had a lot of excuses, but now he has the best roster in the league. That's what everyone says. Can he win the Super Bowl with the best roster in the league? That's the question. And right now, they could turn it around. They might be slow starters. But things that are concerning are the fact that the injuries are piling up like 2 years ago. Trent Williams is out. Trey Lance is out. Elijah Mitchell's out. Azeez Al-Shaair, Ty Davis-Price, Jimmy Ward, Eric Armstead. Some of them are coming back. But it does feel like 2 years ago when the injuries were taking the team down. Then there's, you said they were a slow starter last year. They were. By week 8, their offense was really good. They were 2-4. They went to Chicago. They scored 33 points. And the season was on the brink. So it's really important to remember. So from week 8 to week 15, they averaged 28 points per game on offense. That's phenomenal. But then they went to Tennessee, lost, and scored 17 points. Ever since Tennessee did that to them, there's been a book on how to defend the Niners offense, especially when Jimmy's on the field. And ever since that game, that's 9 games ago, week 16 to now, they've been averaging 18 points per game on offense. So it's an issue that it seems like Kyle's been maybe figured out a little bit. All of his good ideas, and we've talked about him, has been figured out a bit, and he needs to come up with the next wrinkle. Well, the next wrinkle was supposed to be Lance. That's what they spent the entire year doing. So he's gone, and now he has to figure out midseason what the next wrinkle is with Jimmy, and he may figure it out. But I think what's really freaking out people is that Kyle's offensive coordinator is in Miami looking great. They're 3-0, and people are thinking, oh my God, was he like the ghostwriter on this team? Was he Cyrano de Bergerac? We'll find out. I don't know. So it's like it's been 9 weeks, and all of a sudden his underlings doing a great. He's not a slow starter. Mike McDaniel, not a slow starter. And then there's the fact that it's year 6 for Kyle. Like, he's always had excuses, and he's got this, and his quarterback, and then it's like, okay, man, like at a certain point, no more excuses. You have the best roster in the league. We want to see you deliver. And then finally, the things that make it weird are the leaks that came out. Like all offseason, so many people in the organization apparently saying we don't believe in Kyle's vision for the quarterback. And even in the locker room after the game, I saw it. Players talking off the record saying, So to me, we talked about it.
Expand on that a little bit. The players after which game saying what?
The Seahawks game. The Seahawks game when Trey was hurt and Jimmy came back. How they were basically saying, this is what we wanted for the team. And as you said last week, that's a slap in the face to Kyle. It's
no question.
Right. So for players to be so open and so many leaks off the record, basically condemning their own coach, it's not a good sign. They could all turn it around, but these are all signs of a team that's in crisis at week 3. Now they've beaten themselves twice already. They could beat the Rams next week and handle all of this. But feels like a critical week for the 49ers.
I agree it's a critical week. I do.
Yeah.
I agree. And the team does seem to be polarized.
Yes.
Factions, everything you don't want in a locker room. That stuff can clear pretty quickly with a win, especially a win over the Rams. It could clear up pretty quickly. Also, I don't really value what the players say about who their quarterback should be. I don't care what they say. I don't know what their reasoning is or how much they know. But the lack of faith in the coach is very bad. I agree with that. I agree. The question is, will they continue to play hard for him? Certainly, the defense plays hard for DeMeco Ryans. Will the offense continue to play hard? My guess is it will, but I can't prove it. That's what I want to say. I want to say one other thing.
Sure.
I've been through a lot of sports seasons, and the idea of getting hysterical after 3 weeks strikes me as innocent. There are 14 games to go. So many things can happen. Stafford could break his arm.
It's true.
I mean, really, so many things. Or the Niners could be a better team face to face with the Rams. So many things can happen. What I've learned, and when I was younger, I was always red hot. But what I've learned now is take a deep breath.
Yes.
Take a deep breath and try to get away from the noise and see what happens. I'll finish in a second, Guy. Denver won the game. They looked horrible also. They're 2-1. They didn't, Russell Wilson, except for the end, looked horrible. And on the only touchdown the Niners had, that was a nice drive. And the touchdown pass that Jimmy threw was beautiful. It was.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is I am not digging a grave for them. I want to see more data.
Okay. Look, I'm not digging a grave for. I feel like I'm not firing Kyle, and I'm not digging a grave for the 49ers. I think it's fair to say that in year 6, Kyle Shanahan has to prove something, and he's on the hot seat. I think it's a fair thing to say. No one's saying that he's going to get fired mid-season or after the season. Let's let the season play out. But he's being watched. Also, this team has a great defense. A great defense. So any team with a great defense is always going to be competitive every week and probably going to be a winner. The problem with him is that he's an offensive coach, and it's his 6th year coaching the team, and his offense was freaking awful in week 1 and week 3, and it was awful in the playoffs, and it was awful down the stretch, and it's been a long stretch. And he needs to bring something. He needs to show something right now. I think it's fair for people to be like, dude, what do you do? Are you really a genius? Do we give you too much credit? Or is DeMeco the genius on this team? Was Mike McDaniel the genius on this team? What's going on? Yeah. It's fair to ask those questions.
Yes, and I think it's also fair not to use the word genius.
Yeah. I think enough of the genius
Walsh
stuff.
was a genius.
Yeah.
Although he didn't he liked when people called him a genius, but not in public.
Right.
But
because it's a bad look to actually acknowledge that publicly.
Right. But I don't think that Kyle is a genius.
No.
I think he's gifted.
Right.
Nor do I think his dad was a genius.
No. And his offense doesn't have to be great. It just has to be not bad. The defense is great. The offense is bad right now. Just be not bad. And we think he can make his offense be not bad.
I agree. I think we agree on that. And I think if he can make his offense be not bad, this is a team that can win. Now, can it go to the Super Bowl? You were saying Super Bowl, but now you may have revised your opinion.
I mean, it doesn't. No, I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. This is the team. This is the same team as last year, and I like the idea of something different with a new quarterback. But now they're back to the same team as last year, and it's not really Kyle's fault. He's done the most he can with this quarterback. It's a very limited quarterback. If you go and watch the coaches' tape from this game, there's guys open down the field left and right, and Jimmy doesn't even look. He doesn't even care. So there's only so much Kyle can do, and it has to be revolve around the running game. I don't know. I'm sorry. He put himself in this situation. Tom Brady wanted to play for him, and Kyle said no thanks. So, sorry. This is what you get.
Yeah, he's lacked prudence in getting quarterbacks. It's not like these 3 weeks are isolated. They're related to his whole era of being the head coach and not being savvy about getting quarterbacks and really not understanding how important it is.
And I think last year he ducked a lot of blame because they won. But if Jimmy struggled, people would say, like me, well, Trey would have won. Put in Trey, that'll fix everything. And then Trey came in, and there were problems with the Trey Lance offense too. And I think people are like, well, wait a second. This offensive genius is really struggling, and maybe it's because of the decisions he made. He didn't want Patrick Mahomes. He didn't want Tom Brady. He wanted Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, and can't really make it work with either one to the degree a genius should. And I think people are saying, wait a second, it's year 6. We all bought into you. And now it's like D'Amico. So I don't know. I just think it's fair that he gets looked at like this. No one's firing Kyle. He gets the whole season. But I think he needs to understand that he needs to actually produce. Because, again, he's looking like Mark Jackson to me. Yes, you came here. You turned the culture around. You did great stuff. But can Mark Jackson win a championship with a great roster? Probably not. Can Kyle win a championship with a great roster? We'll see. He has one right now. He's lost a Super Bowl he should have won. He lost an NFC championship he should have won at a certain point. What do we say about, we called Harbaugh a high-level loser. And he is. He still hasn't won a championship in Michigan. Is Kyle a high-level loser? We asked.
He may be a mid-level loser.
He might be.
I don't know. Might be. Hey, I'm going to just, Mark Jackson, it makes me laugh. I'm not going to name the coach, but remember we called a famous NBA coach one time when Jackson had the Warriors in the playoffs, and we asked this famous coach what he thought of Mark Jackson's offense, and his response was he started laughing on the phone. Remember, Iggy? He said, Lowell, I don't want to say anything, but he was just laughing. He laughed at Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, you heard it.
I was like 22. I called him up. He was gracious enough to give me some time, and I asked him, how would you describe Mark Jackson's offense? And he just started laughing. He's like, I can't. That's got to stop. I can't. That was really funny.
That really happened.
Anyway, that was really okay. Look, I'm with you. Turn down the noise. Here's the thing with football. When a team wins, the celebration is way too much. And when they lose, people lose their mind because there's only a few games. But by Tuesday, I think people kind of like reach normal emotional balance. So this is a good day to talk about it. I'm with you. It's just when all these people are donating money to me after the game saying, fire Kyle, what am I supposed to say? No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, I don't want to fire Kyle. Kyle, if you're watching, I don't think they should fire you. I think this is a great year for you to prove that you're the greatest coach and that you're good enough to win a Super Bowl because you got the horses.
You have to have the horses.
You got, and the one thing that you can't say is people say, well, you give Kyle Shanahan a quarterback, watch what happens. Man, he's had his pick for 6 years. You can't say that. These are the quarterbacks he wants. He wanted Brock Purdy. He wanted Jimmy. He wanted Trey. These are the guys. Win it.
I also want to take out the phrase hot seat. It's too early to be on the hot seat. Whatever the hot seat is that the electric chair? I don't know. I don't want him on the hot seat yet.
Is that is it an electric chair analogy? That's grim.
I don't know.
I don't even know. Yeah, it's true.
We use these cliches, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hot seat is.
My friend,
whatever the hot seat is, I don't want him on it. And listen, I'm not a fan of his. I don't know him.
He's on it. Sorry, I'm in charge of the hot seat. I put him on it. Sorry.
Okay.
It's too late.
Your hot seat.
He's on my hot seat.
On my hot seat.
There you go. That's
he's
true.
The hot seat.
Yeah, if he comes to dinner and he's at my table, the seat's going to be a little bit warm. I'm going to preheat it. I'm going to preheat his seat.
Yeah, he's coming to dinner at your house.
Do you see how he looks at me when I ask questions?
Show the look. And how do you interpret it?
I hate you. 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 Oh yeah, Jeff Wilson played really well. Sorry, I mean, win. I won't ask the questions. I'll ask good questions if you win.
So why does he hate you?
Because I'm the one that's on him the hardest. Although yesterday I sat back and let everyone else, Matt Mayoko, Matt Bear, everyone was asking very polite but very critical questions of Kyle yesterday. As they should. It's time. It's time.
And it was a pathetic performance.
It was pathetic. And to Kyle's credit, he was prepared for it. He was not defensive. He actually did, to the best of his ability, take credit for specific things. He even said, the play call and the safety. It was a bad play call. I shouldn't have called that. I've never heard him say something like that, which is like coaches do it all the time. But he did it.
It shows he's capable of showing leadership and being the face of the franchise in a good way.
Well, if you're a slow starter, it's okay. Now's the time. Week 4 against the Rams, if you beat them, no one will care about the first 3 weeks. If you lose to the Rams and start 1-3, the seat will get so warm.
Okay, if they lose, we're going to talk about that later. I admit I'm not going to put him on the hot seat even if he loses to the
Fair
Rams,
enough. Fair enough.
because you'd be 1-3, but still there'd be 13 more games to go.
You know what's fun about the hot seat? It
What?
doesn't exist.
It's
It
true.
doesn't exist. That's what I like about it. It
It's a
doesn't
metaphor.
exist.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.